Okay, cool. So we're recording now. Just as I mentioned in the message, we'll plan to make this public. If anything gets said that you think shouldn't be public, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that name or something like that, just let me know right then and I'll stop the recording and start another so we can edit it right there. And
Right.
otherwise, if we make it all the way through, are you cool with making it public?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome, bro. And of course, at any point, if you want, you can just say, hey, I want to tell you something without recording it. I'll pause it and we can talk offline. That's no problem. Cool.
That sounds great. I'll say
Great.
mangoes.
I see that. You mind actually turning your camera the other way so you're widthwise so I can see you better?
uh,
Can you do that?
a little
There you
bit
go.
different.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, bro. Oh, are you bicycling?
No,
Oh, you're walking.
I'm walking in the present moment. Like I said, on my way to get my headphones real quick so I can be fully present.
Nice, nice. Where are you located at?
I am South Beach at the present moment.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's so great. I miss being on South Beach. Dude, I'm so excited that we're connecting. It's been so long. Um,
Yeah.
I want to start in the beginning, actually, just also it's kind of this was just coming to me, but I want to give you a chance at the beginning to just share with people how they can connect with you if anybody sees this and wants to connect with you. So, first question I have for you, I know on Facebook, obviously I see Travis, but I wanted to see if that's what you're going by lately or what you like people calling you and how people find you and just share all of that before we dive into everything.
Got it. Yes. As you know, my given name is Travis. Some call me Natural or Natural. Either is fine. Whatever one chooses to call me is perfect. And, and my Facebook is I am divine all the time. And or Travis Huntley, you can find me there. And my Instagram is natural.livity with a V.
Nice. Nice, man. I've been so out of the loop on social media. I think the last time I saw you in person was almost the last time I was on social media. I'm trying to think, was it when we ran into each other at Art Basel? Was that the last time that we saw each other? I'm pretty sure it was. You remember
Yes, yes.
that? That random beautifulness. And of course, you went to a bunch of the Higher Vibe Life events. I think that was how we met, right? At one of the Higher Vibe Life events.
I was the MC of a number of higher vibe events during Art Basel. Yes.
The I think it was at Shireen's place on Miami Beach. Do you remember? I can't remember the name of the restaurant she had now, but I think that was
I
the
can
first
remember.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was back in what was that? 2016, 2015, 2016, somewhere in that range. So
Right.
tell me what you're up to these days. I mean, I know back then, like I remember you were moving not too long after that to like a sustainable place that you guys were creating, like in Arizona, New Mexico. Am I remembering correctly where you were headed to? And I think you were out there maybe last time we talked, right?
Yeah, I when I initially left Florida back in 2016, I went to go support conscious community and movement back over in Albuquerque, near Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess catch me up since then. Share whatever you want about the journey since then and where you're at and what you're up to and tune me into your world.
Wow, that's a a
I
winded
know there's
one.
been many lifetimes since then. You don't need to cover everything. Whatever you feel is what you want to share in this moment.
Yeah, so as you know, I felt the guidance to leave Florida and ended up going out to Mexico, which led me to then Sedona, which then got the guidance to be present in the Maui and Hawaii area. and was there for some time. Became an initiated man with the MKP, the Mankind Project, while in Big Island 2018, and then moved to Maui. Was in Maui, actually holding space for men at my home for about a year or so during COVID. Actually, we were the one and only group on Maui that were meeting regularly, coming together to support men, right on my front porch there. So I was there until about 2020, end of 2020, during the depths of COVID. My stepfather ended up going into the hospital and ended up passing.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And I, but during while before so I ended up coming home to be with my mom and my family to support her, but with no intentions of coming back to Hawaii at all, due to my experience there and just the guidance to be present with the family and tribe on the mainland, and mainly due to the number of things, but what really kept me away was the amount of a police state that was occurring there during all the stuff. I ended up, I was in a park, by myself. It was after hours, by myself, meditating, literally. And sure enough, I got a citation for being in the park without a mask on, by myself, nobody else, literally in the park. So that was the end of it for me, and
That's
ended
harsh.
up, yeah, it was intense. So and then I ended up being back home, present with my mom, my family, my nieces. I got 20 nieces and nephews back home. So,
Wow.
so it
So
gave
back
me,
home, is that in Florida or where is back home for you?
my hometown is Farrell, Pennsylvania. And I went back home after, I want to say, probably like 3 or 4 years. I wasn't home. I was out traveling in the flow, so I really didn't get to spend much of time during those years with any of my family. So it really felt good to really ground in and develop more relationships, or deepen my relationships with my nieces and nephews and my siblings and so forth. So ended up home with the fam, and then I got just supporting my mom, getting her life back together and in order, of bills and all the things that she never had to take care of, So ended up about a year ago, year and a half ago. I ended up, she ended up, was feeling good in a good space. I felt good to be able to go out and continue to travel and see where my heart was leading me to be present with, and I ended up, hold on one second, we got a fellow cocker coming in here. And so I ended up leaving home and ended up going and being present down in Florida for some time to MC Fireflies Forest, as I'm one of the co-hosts with Kahil with MCing Fireflies Forest, and which led me to a small tour around Florida, really just filling out different communities and seeing where I may fit in, and ended up finding my way after it was actually on my way to the next Fireflies. I was there for like a few months doing a whole little tour around Florida, ended up heading my way up to the next Fireflies, Tennessee. And long story short, ended up finding my home in Asheville, North Carolina, outside of Asheville and Marshall at the Sacred Mountain Waters Wellness Sanctuary with my brother, Patrick Hennessy, who's been stewarding the land there for some time. And I felt inspired to support the project that he has, being there really by himself, with just a little team, so I really felt inspired to support with stewarding the land there, really getting, because we're in process of building out a whole wellness sanctuary, huge log cabin, a whole big uh, building with commercial kitchen and all the things that is gonna, really provide a safe space for people to come to connect, heal, and transform, and
That's
so
amazing. That
yeah, we
sounds
ended up
amazing.
turning it into a trust, and now I am a member of the board of that trust, and I, as of October, came back down to Florida to, as they were really finishing up just like finishing touches on the lodge, and the professionals come in and do all the finishing work and so forth. So that's where we're at now with that, and I felt good being that's where the space we were, and winter time, and I felt good to be able to make my way down to Florida and be present here since October. As I mentioned, I do Fireflies on the end of October with Sawin, and then I end up, then we no whole number, and then that just spiraled into a whole plethora of events, and really felt the call to stick around in Miami and drop into home where I live partially as well, a whole nother venue, as that is a sanctuary for the divine light to shine through, for transformational events and so forth. So now I'm deeply rooted in both of these sanctuaries right on this East Coast to support with the raising of the vibes and supporting with the family's transition, into the next versions of themselves the best way I know how. So we have the Beltane coming up at the end of the month, and I I will be heading back to Asheville beginning of May to start our season. We have the Love Evolution Festival coming up that I'm co-producing with Patrick now as well, and I'm seeing Love Evolution Memorial Day weekend. Sacred Mountain Water is coming up next month, so that's my next move. That kind of gives you a background and bring you all up to speed.
Got it. Got it. Okay. That is a lot, man. You are living a rich life, dude. I really appreciate all the goodness in there, all that you're up to. It's really amazing. It's amazing to just think about that whole world that you just described. I've been, completely removed from all aspects of the world other than my room, for the last 7 years for the most part. Um, yeah, it's been a totally different journey. So to kind of hear into your journey of this whole human experience of life that you're not only having, but that you're supporting others in having, I really just honor you and appreciate you, brother, for, all that you're bringing into the world, all the ways you're supporting people. I love the way that you said it. Maybe you can say it again because I won't do it justice, but how you're empowering people into the next version of themselves the best way that you know how. Tell me how you say it, because I want to capture what you are saying in terms of how you're supporting people.
Well, really supporting the individual to really have the tools and resources to, as we are all born with, that if you ask me, but simply reminding of our greatness and providing various tools and experiences that support one stepping and being the highest version of themselves that they know that they can be in on this plane, in this existence.
I do know exactly what you're talking about. It's why I don't know if you made the direct connection, but I've been on most of the journey for me that I just described for you, not only the last 7 years, but also some period of time before that. I've been really, really working on trying to figure out how we can systematically address all of our challenges, especially our global challenges that have been so overwhelming to us, pollution and deforestation and climate and social issues and just everything, It's just like, I don't know if you remember, my degree is in aerospace engineering. So I had this engineer's mind looking at the world saying, listen, we can have a system in the way that we address all these issues that is much more efficient and much more effective, is the most efficient and most effective way to use our resources, right? I mean, our situation is so dire on so many fronts. As intelligent beings, how could we do anything other than optimize the use of our resources to apply them to our issues at hand, right? And anyone can clearly see that when our paradigm is having like thousands or tens of thousands of nonprofit organizations that are all, for the most part, competing with each other to get donor dollars and sponsor support and media attention, and like it's a paradigm that doesn't support having collective strategic plans, and that's why we don't, right? So we're basically by distributing all of our resources into a way that there's no collective strategic plan, it's almost like the most unintelligent way that we could address our challenges in the face of massive death and destruction happening on the planet on a daily basis, right? So it's really an untenable situation. That whole situation is going to fail at some point. And I've been working for years to try to figure out, what system works. It started for me, really, it was opening my eyes around the Standing Rock protests. And I went to, some of the protests. I think I might have seen you at one or two, but I was marching in downtown Fort Lauderdale and some of the other things, and really tuning into what was happening out in the world. And I was seeing, okay, great, there's all this awareness now, all this publicity. So now how are all of these people going to channel their energy into some positive co-creation that gets created out? Like, we've seen the contrast of what we don't want, right? So now that we've got the contrast, now how is that going to propel our rockets of desire to co-create the reality that we want to create together, right?
Yes, Abraham Hicks, you sounded. Yes, I hear it in you. Yes,
I know. I figured you'd pick up on that. So that's what I is. So I'm like, where is the positive co-creative mechanism that we have as a society to be able to come together intentionally and create together? We don't have one, and and it made me even more aware of it when the Women's March happened, like practically overnight. I didn't even know it was about to happen until I saw the news stories afterwards. And it was like 5 million women around the country marched in, 500 cities today. And I'm just like, holy crap. And I was just so like inspired by, again, the mobilization, the awareness, like everyone coming together. I started to go to the women's March meetings in South Florida to tune into how they were going to carry forward from there. And I was like, this is so amazing that you're doing all this organizing. Like, what system are you using in order to have all of these women align around the issues that they care about and figure out collective strategic actions and, work together to create results? And they're like, we don't have any system like that. Do you have something? And it was at that point that I realized that I had to build something. Like, I could visualize like how it could work, and I can program enough to do that. And I was like, I have to do that. And that was back in 2016, 2017 in the beginning. And so it's been, this journey since then of really, I stopped everything in South Florida. I stopped going to events. I stopped being on social media. I stopped being connected with anybody because I just had to go so deep into this different realm, different than our world. Our world is so messed up in so many ways, as you know, the mechanisms that are in place, the ways that, capitalism has kind of got turned on its head, and I don't know if you went did you go into the summary? Give me a sense of what you got a chance to read and connect with. So I want to get a sense of where to pick up with you and what parts you know and what parts I should share anew with you with what I'm up to now.
Please share. Yes, I wasn't able to touch base on most of it. No.
No worries. No worries. I'll start fresh. So that kind of gives you like a catch up of like where I was at and how I got into this development mode a few years ago. Any questions or thoughts or anything before I share with you like what's come out of that now?
No, I'm just super just what's just as feedback just from hearing, just as a brother, in this flow of life here, I'm just deeply honored to first and foremost know you, and even more honored to be on this call, and really stoked that you're taking the steps to move forward to really provide the infrastructure and the systems to really bring us all together in a really cohesive and harmonious way. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to. I'm also a systems developer as well. So when it comes to the creation of things, so I'm with you on that, and you have my 100% support. If you ever want to brainstorm things or whatever the case may be. 1 second, brother.
Sure. That's the thing, man. I know that about you, and you're going to so geek out on the summary document that I sent to you because it is literally 10 volumes of all the stuff that's been in my head about how to deal with the world, how to systematize the world in ways that we can address it really effectively. I was like, I've been sharing it orally for a long time, and it's been evolving and it's been evolving, it's been evolving. And then, there's a piece, let me share this part with you because you'll really appreciate this. I visualized years and years ago, it's been more than 15 years that I visualized a reality generating machine that you could have everything within this machine and connect all the dots, like have all the people playing all of their roles, connect all the dots, have it all be automated, and basically just say, here's my resources, here's what I want, press the button, and then the resources go and do their job and everything happens for you. You get what I'm saying? And I've known that we were going to evolve to that point. I mean, it's just kind of a natural evolution, right? For somebody that has the resources to be able to push a button and get stuff done, right? So I, holding that vision, I haven't had all the inner workings of the machine. I haven't had all the parts that would make that machine run until just a few months ago, like around a year ago now. I came up with the key piece, which is the nano action. So the nano action is like the fundamental building block of getting something done. So now what we're doing is we're taking any action that we need to accomplish and saying, okay, of this, here's this, part, here's this part, here's this part. This part breaks down to this and this and this, breaks down to this and this. Keep breaking it all the way down till you get to a part that you can't break down anymore, right? Like this has to be photographed, or this has to be, looked up, or whatever it is. And those are the nano actions at the bottom, right? And essentially, when you're down to the nano actions, then you have a marketplace at every nano action of all of the people who are showing up to provide that nano action and all the people who are showing up to have that nano action get done for them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in that space, we're creating like this pure capitalistic marketplace around every nano action that then has all of the metadata about the whole marketplace, right? Like what is people's asking price based on time frame, based on quality, based on this, based on that, right? The thing that we're doing with all of this is we're getting data on everything that we're doing about everything, right? And then these nano actions are interchangeable for all of these different things to get done in our society. right? And when we break, and when we're able to define it all in that way, that means that we can not only, identify, okay, here's what we want to get done. Now we have this collective global brain that has all of the collective data about all the different ways that anyone's ever done this. And now we can just tune the knobs on our mission control panel to what does it look like when I take longer to get it done? What does it look like when I tune the quality down? You know what I'm saying? And get all the fine-tuned controls over the reality. And it becomes such a reality check because you get to see, am I about to commit my resources to this, or is this in the end outside the realm of, I think it's going to take this, but the machine is telling me it's going to take this. You get what I'm saying? Like, we have no way of like accurately measuring what is it going to take to get this massive job done right now, right? We kind of have to start on faith and hope that we're going to get it done in the end, But now we have a whole system that tells us instantly what it's going to cost in dollars, what it's going to take in time, how much management is going to be involved, all these different factors. And it gets us down to the point where we're really discerning the realities that we're giving our time and our money and our energy to, because we only want to give it to things that are going to result in the outcome that we're seeking, right? We don't want to head down any of these long, hard paths that aren't going to turn into, a good use of our time and money and resources, right? It's just a whole new reality. And with this, I'll just share a couple other pieces just so again, I know you already get how revolutionary this is on this level. And also, again, by having it broken down into these like Lego bricks of reality creation, now we can take some huge, task and say, who here wants to address pollution on a global level, right? And then I raise my hand and you raise your hand and, 50 million people raise their hands. And those 50 million people each say, okay, well, I'm willing to give $10. I'm willing to give $100. I'm willing to give $1 million. And so now we have a collective pool of resources amongst the people that are aligning around a concept, right? Like, we have the mechanism now for people to be able to align. And so of those 50 million people, conversations happen, strategies get proposed, 10 million want to go in this direction and 20 million want to go in this direction. And they can. That they can take the resources, they can create a result, they can take the resources, they can create a result. And so we're creating reality on a massive scale, because on such a massive project with so many moving parts, we have a whole nano action structure that allows it all to get broken down into known quantities that have a budget, that have a time frame, and we can actually execute based on past experience. You get what I'm saying about like how this brings all of this, what has been so far beyond our reality up to this point, into an attainable and achievable reality?
Absolutely. So the question is where are we at in development with that system in the present?
Yeah, perfect question. I just want to make sure you could hear all that because your face is frozen. I did hear that last thing you said. So did you catch everything I said?
I did. Yes,
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So I'll answer where it's at in terms of the system. I'm going, when you get to a spot where you're not cutting out, I know it's possible it's my internet actually, because I was having issues earlier. I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah, it looks like it's perfect on my end.
Oh, is it? Okay. My bad. Sorry about that. I'm in a new place. I just moved last weekend and I was warned about internet issues, but I haven't had them yet. Let me see if I can switch to my my hotspot on my phone. Hold on a second, see if that works better. Oh, I just got it. Your internet is unstable message. All right, we'll see how this goes. We'll see if this is better. But I was coming through straight video, at least audio. You were catching everything? Okay, great. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so to answer your question, where are we at in development? I think, why not just show you? So let me show you the prototype that I built so you can get a sense of where I'm at exactly with this. And to more generally answer your question as that's coming up is I've built a functional prototype on some of the core like functionality, as you're going to see. There's a lot, especially as I was getting into the deeper levels with you now, that hasn't been developed at all yet. And I'm working what I'm doing, as I shared with you in the messaging, is creating this as open source project, which is why, as you say, well, where are you at with this? And as I start to answer you and you ask real specific questions, and now we're starting to define where things are at for other people to see and other people to show up and say, hey, I can help there. I know somebody, you get what I'm saying? So, and to take that a step further, it's where part of what I'm doing with all of this is creating a mechanism for you to lay down your thought maps. Okay. So basically, as we speak and we're having natural language conversation and we're recording it, I'm already doing this manually, and we're about to start having AI do it very quickly. I'm so happy AI has caught up so quickly, because what we're going to do is have the AI processing our speaking and taking, the important chunks out of it and building a web page with our thoughts tagged, with the different tags of what we were saying, and all organized for us and all really spiffy in a nice format, so that we're actually, as we're speaking into the world, we're essentially creating this thought map for anybody to show up and tune into our thoughts. Anybody that we want to give access to, tune into our thoughts. And as we say a certain thought, then that other person can make a comment and say, well, actually, if I were you, I would do this. And then another person says, well, actually, you could do this. And it starts a conversation that, once you have enough people in the conversation, you start to get statistically relevant information, right? Especially when you can query, who's saying what based on whatever credentials you want to apply, right? What do the PhDs have to say? What do my friends that are in this group have to say? All of that. And again, once you start the conversation and it's happening and things are going, this is again where within the structure, naturally, some people start going off in this direction, some people start going off in this direction, and they know that they're communicating together in alignment. You want to say something? I see your
yeah. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. So so just to complete that thought, so you've got some people going in this direction with the conversation, some people going in this direction with the conversation. Now, again, those people can all see each other. They all know, collectively how much there is in the pool of resources amongst them devoted towards this issue. And now they can choose to take collective action together, right? And so what ends up happening is we start to actually spawn evolution in all of these multiple directions, just from having the infrastructure in place to allow people to find each other and take it to the next level. We're creating a hyper evolution just because there's a place for it to happen. Whereas right now, our conversation just gets lost in the ethers, and there's no groundedness to be able to translate it into a created reality, right?
Right.
So that's another big important factor. And then, as you can see, once you're starting to lay down thought maps for yourself, the next thing that you can see is that you're going to have your AI compare your thought map with this other person's thought map, and where are we aligned and where are we not aligned. And you get to start to narrow down your choices of who you're interacting with and what businesses you're purchasing from, and all the different ways that you want to ensure that your dollars and your resources are flowing towards entities that are having their dollars and resources flow in the direction that you want to. You know what I'm saying? It gives us the transparency, and this is an evolutionary, pressure, the way that I see it. The transparency, it gives us the ability to track our dollars and our resources multiple generations down the line, so we can ensure that everything we're doing on the planet is in alignment with our ultimate value system for the planet and each other.
Right. That's genius, brother. Genius.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And there are, again, You're about to see 10 volumes of crazy stuff like this, which is amazing. It's been really crazy for me because, for so many years I was having lots of these thoughts, but a lot of it was locked behind the concern of some big company like a Google or a Apple or a Facebook or a Microsoft taking my best ideas and running with them and leaving me in the dust. And so there was a whole lot of I need non-disclosure agreements and I need to not share, my best ideas with people. And I lived
Right.
I lived that way for a long, long time. It was only about a year and a half ago that I realized that the situation in the world is so dire that I need to get these ideas out and into the world and into the wild. And I just have to trust that the process is going to have me be recognized as the source, and the value will flow back in the circulation the way that it should, so that Uniting for Action can keep holding the energy of all that it's putting into the world. And that's led me on a whole new path of like actually getting rid of the patent system eventually and having like everything we speak into existence that gives us like a license, that when somebody uses our thoughts or ideas that we earn. Because this, as you'll really appreciate, right now we're disincentivized from sharing our most brilliant ideas because then somebody's going to take it and use it. So this, what we want to, as an evolved society, we want to evolve to where we're all incentivized to share our best ideas all the time, right? That we're
Yeah.
all swimming in this sea of innovation and ingenuity in every second, where we're all pushing the boundaries of creativity and intelligence every second, right? So to do that, we need a system that incentivizes people to share everything. So we're working on building that too, right? That's just another aspect of like how we build this evolved society. You with me?
I'm with you. And yes, indeed.
Yeah. So I know you really get it and appreciate these things. And I know, especially again, you having been around a lot of people with a lot of ideas about how we evolve into a better world, that, you really will get how innovative a lot of these ideas are that I'm sharing with you. And certainly anybody that's the thing, not just anybody. I know you are so connected to so many people that will be so vibing about this. And that's, part of what I'm really excited about connecting with you about. I know you're going to introduce me to people and networks, and you're going to be, I think, a big part of all of this expanding into the world, just because it's almost like, and I know you get this already, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, right? That like, wow, we could be doing this, we could be living this way, like this is possible with our current technology. It really only becomes a question of whether it's going to be Jared and Uniting for Action that's going to bring it into the world, or whether it's going to be somebody else. But I'm showing how our evolutionary pressures are driving us to get to higher levels of effectiveness and efficiency that allow us to cope with the gravity of the situation that we find ourselves with, right?
Absolutely.
I've been talking a lot. There's a lot more I want to share, but I want to give you a chance to like share your reflection, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what else, where we should go with the conversation right now.
Yeah. Well, just in complete transparency, I got about 10 more minutes here for this particular call, but we can pick up back up where we left off here and shortly. I just have for one, my phone's dying, and two, I have something that I need to attend to. But it all sounds amazing. It sounds like you are completely open-hearted and completely in a space of trust, of the divine order of things, and that all feels really good to me. And also, whatever you did, I can't. It's all froze on my end. Just a heads up.
Whatever I what?
I believe whenever you switched over, something happened on my end where I can no longer. It's all frozen.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I did anything, but let's see if you can fix it.
It's okay. Either way, we're here.
You're just not able to see me right now, you're saying? Oh, let me go
It's
back
just
to the share screen. Is that what it was?
mine is froze and yours is froze. That's all.
Are you able to see the screen now?
I can't see anything.
No?
Nope.
Okay. All right. No worries. I will share that with you some other time. I'll take you into the technology and show you where things are at right now
Right.
with the mission control panel and the reality generating machines and the nano actions and the marketplace. So those parts, the beginning of the marketplace is there where you can make offers and have a negotiation and create an agreement. So all that fundamental part is there. I'm shooting to have an alpha launch in mid-May in order to have the technology that I've built be tweaked out enough that you can use it and other people can use it and we can start having users of the system. It's going to be with the initial realm of empowerment launch supporters.
Wow.
So this is what I want to talk with you about specifically as well, because it seems to me that I would love for you to be one of the realm of empowerment launch supporters. The founding launch supporters, that is. What it is, I mean, you can see how, you know, revolutionary so many of these technologies are. I have been getting very clear from my own experience that regardless of the power of the tools in our hands, if we're operating from a disempowered space, then we're not able to take advantage of the power of the tools in our hands, right? And so I'm so clear about that being such a limiting factor for our, you know, success in anything, that I am actually having the realm of empowerment be the front door that everyone enters Uniting for Action through, so that everybody is coming realize in this co-created awareness that we are all doing our best all the time to be as empowered as we can. And here within the realm of empowerment, you can find all of the people like you that are helping to empower people, you know, with webinars and with videos and with subscriptions and with books and, you know, events, whatever it is. Here is the way that you are, you know, that you're empowering people, that natural is empowering people, and people will, you know, come to the realm of empowerment almost like a gym, right? Where they're going for a half hour a day, an hour a day, you know, to make sure that they're getting into their, you know, empowerment as much as they can, and then creating reality from there, using the tools to create reality from there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's where, again, the invitation, and it's in the information that I sent you, but I'll send you the 2-page executive summary and the 1-page realm of empowerment launch supporter, again, just so you have it handy. And just the bottom line details so you get a sense. The whole system is usable, you know, by people for like a give what you think is fair type of thing. And that's going to be the whole thing all the way through. Is we're really working on teaching people that they need to invest in these types of tools to have outcomes that they want in the world, right? Like nobody's investing in this right now. So it's going to be an educational process that, like, this is the solution you didn't know you needed. And now that you see that it's here, now it's time for everybody to pitch in so we can build this together. So that's the thing. It's at a very, very low level of functionality so far, but it's all, you know, we're creating it in conversation, right? And that's the thing. I'm building the framework, the infrastructure, where it's not building all of Jared's ideas. It's all of Jared's ideas are a first draft that starts a conversation around every single thought that evolves into the highest version of what's possible in that idea in our world right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. So with the realm of empowerment founding launch supporters, to begin with, and it'll change over time as we learn, but to begin with, I'm feeling like $99 a month is an appropriate investment for the supporters to be in the realm of empowerment, to have a presence and to share what their offerings and all that sort of thing. And so for the launch supporters, I'm asking for a 3-month commitment up front, so $297. to be a launch supporter that has them in that role for 3 months. And they are the first users of the system. So they're the first ones that are going to be building out their thought maps. And you're going to be talking about, well, here's, where I do, emceeing, and this is the directions, and you're branching off in your thoughts and the ways that you're describing what you offer, right? And then at the end of all, then you have examples, and then you have photos and videos, and you have, your offers of what people can give you in order for you to do. And you do that in everything, right? And not just where you're making money, but you get a sense of this is how we integrate it all. And I'm going to show you, again, when we look at the technology, how that part is functional already. So that part, when we alpha launch, like mid-May or so, you as a launch supporter you'll start building out your thought map. People will start finding you. It'll be tagged too. So, MC, sound healing, events, whatever. So this again, and everything I'm describing is still in just such a simplistic, way. We're going to start very, very quickly opening it up to the world to have the world start building this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still only a Jared level of functionality. However, with the 10 volumes, the way I'm describing everything, it's to give enough people of a sense of how much is here that, yes, I want to be a person that's plugging in where I can and giving what I can to create this, right? And that's where we're building from right now. So we're not, trying to appeal to the whole world. It's the people who get it, and the people are like, yes, with an open source system where we're constantly sourcing the best of what's possible from humanity. It's like, what better way could we be going about things, right? Yes, let's build a system that gives us that all the time. And just one more, I'll end it on this because you'll really appreciate this. So with the AI and everything, I think we're very, very close to having it be where the AI is processing our conversation in real time. And as I'm saying things and thoughts are coming out of my mouth, the AI is giving us a heads up display of here's that thought, where other people have had it, and here's the directions they went into, and here's how it evolved here, and here's your friends that have had this thought, and here's these people that have had it. And so in real time, we're going to start to have augmented thinking where we're actually not just thinking just from in our own head or just you and me, but we're being informed in real time by the entire conversation of the entire world around these thoughts, right?
Got it. And is that just part of the system that you're developing? Is the AI as well?
Well,
already developed, and
it,
you're
it
just going to implement
no, it's rather than say develop, it's more of like an integration, right? Like, I'm speaking it into existence, and whoever can show up with that piece is saying, hey, I've got that piece, we're going to plug in here. You know what I'm saying? We're creating like a OS framework where everything is an app that plugs in. I think that's kind of like an easy way to understand it, right? So any and all of these existing AI companies are going to be plugging in and offering, but it's going to be in an environment where cooperation and collaboration is incentivized. I didn't mention that part. That's a big part. So there's no more. I said I'll end with that. I'll end with this. I know you got to get going. Where right now, as you know, most transactions are two-party transactions, a buyer and a seller, right? So what we're doing within the Uniting for Action system is we're making it always a three-party transaction. There's a buyer and a seller and a connector, and there's always somebody that's getting a commission from having initiated that relationship or somehow created that. And this, by shifting to that paradigm, what it's doing is it's financially incentivizing all of us to support everyone in the world that we can.
Ching, 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 ching. You got it, buddy. As a connector, it would be appreciated.
Exactly. I know you know better than anybody, and that's the thing. But that's the way the system is based on the value that we're creating in the world, and to monetize all the value we're putting out there, right? And this is a way to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even on a larger scale, like, because after while in Hawaii and so forth, I ended up getting deep into the financials and commodities and trading and all the things to be able to be self-sustainable rather than having to ask, and dealing with big gold deals or big, SBLC deals, you know what I mean? Like, whatever the case may be, being able to have a really simple structure and system to be able to assure that, you know, just that it's a simple, okay, here's the process, this is your connectors, this is the buyer, here's the seller. Really simple. Got it. See how it can be used not only on humanitarian higher level, but it could also be on, you know, in the commodities and
That's
stuff.
the thing. It's going to be a foundational element of all of life. And it's not just because I'm declaring it, it's because I'm aligning all of these things with evolutionary pressures. Like I can show you how things need to evolve in certain directions in order to survive, basically. That's the thing. Right now, with the, well, it's a longer discussion than you have now, so we'll continue again some other time.
Yes,
So
we will continue, brother. Thank you so much for all the time and all the efforts. And before our next call, I will go ahead and take a look at your summary and all the things so I can give you really up to date on the things and we can have a deeper discussion.
yeah, that sounds awesome, bro. I appreciate it. I'll send you the 2-page summary or executive summary now, and then I'll also resend you the longer document so you've got it handy. And then, yeah, we'll continue the conversation. I appreciate who you are and the energy you're holding. I appreciate the multidimensionality of you from all the events you're doing as you're sharing, and also being the system builder and being able to see all this on a deeper level. It's not a large percentage of the population that gets it at the level that you get it. So I really honor and appreciate you that we can, communicate and co-create on this level together.
Yes, that's my honor as well. Thank you so much for the time. We will talk very soon.
All right. Sounds great, bro. Appreciate you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.